So when we're at the top of the hill looking to have our first go on the heel edge, we obviously need to stand up. Now, it can be quite tricky. What can really help in this situation, if you do struggle with it, is to get somebody to help you up. If you can have someone's hands to help you up the first couple of times, it really does make a difference. If you're snowboarding with a friend, or if you've got someone who can come along and just help you up. That's not always the case. Sometimes we're on our own. You might need to have to try and get up on your own. Now what we need to make sure of is that the board is not going to slide away when we stand up. Now a lot of people, when they stand up, they will flatten the feet down, and as soon as you do that, the board's going to move, and it's really, really difficult to stand up when your feet are moving. I'll show you what I mean. If I try and stand up here, and my feet slide like this, it's very, very difficult for me to stand up because I've got nothing to push against. So what we need to make sure of is that the board is pushed into the snow. It's not going to slide away, it's not going to move anywhere. The next thing is we've got to try and get our weight slightly forward, but while maintaining that grip on the heel edge. So I'm going to push up, then I'm going to try and get one hand out in front of me, and then see if I can stand up nice and tall. Now what we'll find is when you stand up, it's actually very difficult to sort of be stationary. So that moves on to actually sliding on the heel edge. So what we need to be looking at when we're sliding on the heel edge is lifting the toes up, basically getting some angle, some tilt on the edge of the snowboard. The more tilt and angle we get on the board, the more it grips into the snow. As I stand up and just release that pressure slightly, the board's going to start sliding. As I sink down and pull my toes up again, the board's going to grip. So don't stop because the balance gets a bit difficult. Just keep it moving. Now all we're trying to do here is get used to the sensation of how the board slides, like where it grips and where it slides. Again, as I pull my toes up, let it grip, I'm going to slow down and stand up, lower the angle of my feet, flatten the board slightly, let the board slide. What we don't want to do is flatten the board so much that our toes dig in the snow. So here the front edge of the snowboard is constantly lifted up off the snow. Now the movements are actually quite subtle. We're not kind of like moving the board like this. That will make you fall over. If you try and slam the brakes on there, you can see I almost fell over. It's a slight little movement in the feet. So as I stand up, lower the toes down, the board's going to slide. I've just released the grip, released the pressure off the edge slightly. Then as I lift my toes up again, let it grip and slow down. Now we're not looking to slow down straight away. Think of it like when you're riding a bike or driving a car. We don't slam the brakes on. We're going to try and gradually slow down. And stand up again, let it slide. Just to a speed that you're comfortable with. Like I say, we're just trying to get used to where it grips and where it slides. Then after we sort of start feeling comfortable with this, next phase is that we're going to move on to starting to go across the slope to the left and to the right. So to start with, we're going to look at going to the left. Now, what we're doing now is we're starting to move our weight around the board. So to start with, we've been fairly stationary kind of in our body position, weight balanced over both feet. Here I'm going to start to shift my weight onto the left foot, look across where I'm going. The board's going to change angle slightly to allow it to go across the slope. Then when I've gone as far as I want to go, I bring my weight back to the center, let it skid and slow down. Again, give it time. Don't try and lean the opposite way. It's a very common thing when we're learning the edges that if we're sliding this way, a lot of people try and lean back this way. That's not the way we're going to stop the board. Weight on the front foot and then back to the center, toes up gently, let it skid to a stop. And then again, stand up slightly, over to the left, lean across, let the board, let it slide. Don't try and fight against it, let it go a little bit. And again, back to the center and slow down. And to the right, we go across, keep leaning. Now as we start getting more confident, see how far across the slope we can go. So you make sure nobody's coming. Quick look, got plenty of space. Go along, it's really good to get the idea of going across the slope. It gives us a direction, so we get more choice as to how we ride down the hill. Now as we progress, we can start skidding into it a little bit more. So I'm slowing down here, lifting my toes up, but shifting my weight across at the same time to make it into like a smoother motion. We're starting to develop our control and our understanding of how the board works. And again, back to the center, then start leaning across the other way. And this is then starting to develop like a really nice range of movements that we can continue to develop through the rest of our snowboarding. This is a really important thing to keep practicing. Don't just think, right, I've done one little run on it, I'm ready to go. Do a few runs, get really confident. You'll feel the confidence growing. The more you do this, you'll get more used to where your body needs to be. You'll start to relax a little bit more. And one thing to bear in mind here, the slope's getting flatter. So if I want to go, say, across to the left, the slope's quite gentle. I need to lean and lean. I need to let the board point more into the fall line because there's less gradient. And then again, I lift my toes up, back to the center. Here again, because it's quite gentle, I'm going to have to let the board run a little bit more. I've still got my toes up though. I'm not letting the board go down the hill. Then again, weight onto the heels and stop. Now, like I said, keep practicing this because it's invaluable and it builds up into the turns. And this is effectively 50% of our snowboarding when we're doing the turns from the heel edge to the toe edge. That heel edge control is how we're going to control ourselves half the time going down the mountain. So keep practicing, keep developing it, and then we'll move on to the toe edge in the next phase.